Minute Foxboro Rush, George Balekji with Travis Thomas. We got Father's Day edition for you guys today. Travis, how was the Father's Day? What did the kids, what did the wife treat you to on Father's Day?
Well, listen, my kids are still young, so they're still in the drawing dad a card age. So, that's cute, but it ain't skills to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? I like gift cards. Give daddy some Dunkin' gift cards, please. So the wife took care of all that,
Smart.
But the kids are still drawing me little pictures. I'll be glad when they're at the age where they can work, contribute to the household.
This is the most dad take ever, dude.
Yes. And
this is the most dad take ever.
Yes, and get dad a nice gift card. I'm good with that. But I'll take the hand-drawn cards for now. It's completely fine.
All right. You know what I did to celebrate Father's Day? Well, first off, I FaceTime my dad. He's very simple. Growing up, my dad was like, when I would get home from practice, football practice, get home from school, whatever, his one rule was come say hi to mom and I.
That's right.
Get out. Don't go to your room. Fair. Father's Day, all he wants, I sent him a text, still a follow-up FaceTime, 20 seconds.
Yep.
He says thanks. He looks at me and he hangs up. That's all he wants. So I did that to celebrate.
He's
but
simple.
Also, big day for me today, man.
Yeah.
I got my first pair of chunky running shoes.
Yeah, I saw
dad
that.
running shoes.
Yeah.
I actually wore them out the store. First time I've ever done that. But
bro, pop one of those bad boys off and hold it up to the camera. Let's see it.
Oh yeah, we got the visual medium too.
Huh?
Look at these. Look how thick this is.
For our listening audience, let me explain what's going on.
We got 4 C's of thickness.
These
as
are
I'm holding
clean white balances.
I know they're gonna get dirty.
I'm talking about bleach white. And they got what do you call that at the bottom there? There's a lot of cushion there.
Yeah, it's cushion, man.
There you go.
Thick with multiple C's. I'm a runner now, not really. So I needed that. But yes, happy Father's Day to all. Thanks for tuning in to Foxboro Rush. For everyone celebrating, have a great time. For everyone that doesn't have a father in the picture, still a special day for you. You are loved. We love you here at Foxboro Rush. Trav, let's get into it, talking about the final day of minicamp takeaways. We didn't get to get into this because the final day of minicamp coincided with Tom Brady's Hall of Fame induction ceremony and his number getting retired by the Patriots. But big news is Christian Gonzalez. Now, it's not big what he said. He gave us a generic. He's coming back for an injury, tore his labrum, week 4, in that Cowboys loss, missed the last 13 games. He said this, quote, "It feels amazing to come out and be with the guys again." And talk of him being a leader, he said, quote, "I don't really look at it like that, but if they do, of course, I love to help my teammates. Ask questions, let them know I'm there."
Yeah.
This is important, man. Year 2 guy, only played 4 games, but embracing the role of being a leader for the Patriots, and they need him on this defense. Now, think about the guys they have, Juwan Bentley, but, he's getting up there in age, especially for an off-ball linebacker. Kyle Duggar brought back on an extension. You have Christian Gonzalez. Matt Judon, we'll see how much longer he's a Patriot. Dietrich Wise, same thing. You need people like Christian Gonzalez to step up and embrace being a leader because he's also one of their best players.
Yes.
And that has to go hand in hand. He's a quiet kid. He's not rah-rah, really soft-spoken in interviews too. But if he's a leader on the field and a leader to his teammates on the sidelines, I'll take it, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, listen, this kid has a chance to be a star, George, and we both know it. We just didn't get a large enough sample size to really stamp it the way we want. But we did see flashes in the games he did play. What I saw was what everyone talked about in the pre-draft process with this kid, where they talked about the versatility, right? I mean, we saw him get a sack. We saw him with tackles. We saw him get a pick. He feels like the kind of guy you can move around on the defense and make things happen, whether it's corner or even safety at times. He's big. He's physical. I just think he has potential to be a star. He has the right mentality. He has the looks even. I think this kid has everything to be an absolute rock star. What we have to see now from him, obviously, is can you stay healthy?
Yeah.
Now, granted, we're all giving him a pass. It was rookie year. He was here for 5 minutes, it felt like, before he got hurt. But this is the kind of season where you need to put it together. And if nothing else, stay healthy the whole year. If you're going to miss a game or 2, fine. But you can't have another catastrophic or major injury where he misses significant time, because then the question marks will arise. So, George, I've already seen enough to feel confident saying this kid can play. I also have enough, I would say, confidence in Drake Maye that the defense should, at the very least, and I've been saying this, stay the status quo. If the defense is just as good as they were last season, I'll take it. If they're better, even better. But what I cannot tolerate is if this defense takes a significant step back. then I have questions about Drake Maye. But given his background, we're just going to go ahead and give him that benefit of the doubt that the defense should be fine. But if Gonzalez can stay healthy, I think then we'll see really what his potential is. We saw flashes, as I said, but it just wasn't a large enough sample size, George. I want to see him put it together for a whole season. If he can do that, if he can stay upright, he can stay on the field, then we'll really see what he could be.
Yeah, so far through minicamp for the Patriots, it's been the defense dominating. Now, there's more continuity on that side of the ball, of course. DeMarcus Covington got promoted from defensive line coach to defensive coordinator.
That's
Drake
right.
Maye from DC to head coach. More assistants stayed on board, even though one of the Belichicks and Steve left, and Bill Belichick obviously had that elegant solution of leaving the Pats. He was fired by Robert Kraft. But this is still what you want. And you said it, that Christian Gonzalez can be a rock star, right?
Yes.
This kid can be an all-time great for the Patriots.
He can.
The framework is there, the athleticism, the length, the size, how important his role is. But he stepped in from day one, and watching him in person, the comparison, I mean, it's buttery hips, getting in and out of his breaks, which you need as a cornerback. But literally, and I think it's his length that adds to this, it's like watching a cat. Yeah. There's something different, the way they leap, how quick they can be, going side to side. His lateral quickness. Now I'm literally talking about Christian Gonzalez here.
Yep.
As a cornerback, you have to be that. And he was a standout guy at Oregon. He was that dude for them, a cornerback one.
Yep.
He was the guy for the Patriots through the first 4 weeks, and also still he's learning life in the NFL as it goes. He got that taste, obviously had to rehab the torn labrum. Now he got a full offseason, knowing what it'll take for his body to be in the NFL. But I'm with you. If there's another big injury, yes, the durability comes into question. But this kid can be an all-time great cornerback for the Pats. And I'm talking about, you go through the years, the Ty Laws, even the guys that they've signed outwards, the Stephon Gilmores that they brought in, been defensive players of the year for the Patriots, the undrafted free agent gems, the J.C. Jacksons, right? But Christian Gonzalez, as a first-round pick, taken top 20 overall, and a guy that Bill Belichick picked and changes the complexity of an entire defense because he could take an entire receiver, elite number one receiver or side of the field away. If he steps up and becomes that, again, an all-time great. And this is another guy, what you want, what we saw with the Duggars, with the Onwenus, with the other guys they've drafted. He could get a second, third contract with this team and be a high-functioning player, a high-level player. And again, this is a long-term rebuild for the Patriots, 2 or 3 years. When you get that quarterback clicking, he will be a vet by that point. The defense comes together. You have the offense coming together, an offensive line built up, some elite receivers on the outside. Christian Gonzalez will be a key piece. If this team has success in the playoffs under Drake Maye, and I'm saying 2-3 years from now, Christian Gonzalez will be a key factor why that defense will be able to win them games as well.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I do have some concerns about the labrum, though, right? Because this guy is and was a short tackler. So one of the things that concerns me is, as we know, there's a mental aspect involved in coming back from injuries as well. Will he maybe shy away from that contact, shy away from being a short tackler like we saw that he was and is capable of being? That worries me a little bit. But the beauty of this is we have, from minicamp to training camp and all those kinds of things, preseason included, he has time to sort of work through that. So in other words, maybe we could see early on in his comeback, George, maybe he is missing tackles. Maybe we start reading reports from training camp that says, well, his coverage is really good, but he kind of seems a little bit sus in terms of coming up and making some hits.
Hypotheticals, huh?
Well, it could be because look, a labrum is nothing to mess around with, right? So, but we'll see. But here's the thing I know. By the time the regular season comes around, I would think any type of mental yips, if they exist, could be gone by that time, and he should be ready to rock and roll. Because it's one of the things I love about the kid. He's a short tackler as well as a great cover corner.
What I love about him is also the situation he steps into. Because Jonathan Jones, who's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and a great, great leader in that locker room. Soft-spoken guy, but a leader there on the defense and the locker room. A guy that can mentor him. Jabril Peppers, a veteran in the league, playing safety behind him, can mentor him. But also Mike Pellegrino, their cornerbacks coach. We could have all the issues of what the assistants were on the offensive side of the ball the last few seasons, but on the defensive side of the ball, you don't have any questions. And Pellegrino is a guy that's tapped into some of the names I mentioned, like a J.C. Jackson, like a Jack Jones when he was here.
That's right.
And brought the most out of them.
Yep.
To have him there coaching Christian Gonzalez, teaching him to be a pro, I just love the situation he's in. So I think it's beyond, he has the talent there, right? He has the ability, he has the skill, he has the size, he has the athleticism. But what's the scenario that he's going in? What's the situation? And it's boosted by the assistant coaches around him. It's boosted by the head coach in the building. It's boosted by the players around him on this defense.
Yep.
But Gonzalez on his own can succeed and should be a great cornerback for years to come on this team. For him to be excited to be back out there with the teammates, I love it. You know, but like I said, this is a guy of many few words. Like, that's the key soundbite we get from Christian Gonzalez. It feels amazing to come out and be with the guys again. Yes, of course it does. Man. He's happy to be back on football. And this is all what we've seen so far of him this offseason.
Yep.
No pads. It's mini camp. Training camp in August is when a lot of your questions will be answered as well,
right.
Trav, when the pads come on, when they start hitting again. And, of course, as we see him through the preseason, but most importantly, in the regular season. But what I love, the one thing you don't have to worry about with him is his ability as a cornerback, right? Mm-hmm. You have to worry about how he's come back from the labrum. Does he take that second-year leap? Mm-hmm. How is he tackling on the outside when the Patriots need him to? You'd hope that the front seven doesn't allow that to happen a ton.
Yep.
But most importantly, you don't have to worry about him as an actual corner. He's not a project. He is a great prospect. Still a prospect. Hasn't played a lot, but a great player at his position. It's not a guy sit and wait and watch. No, he was a CB1 for them to open the season. He'll be CB1 for them to open up the 2024 season as well.
Yeah, he's also, I think it's deeper than that. It's not just a CB1 in terms of can you shut down the other team's best player. As I said, one of the things I love about him is the versatility. So in the same way that I'm looking at Drake Maye on the offensive end, hey, let's get some creativity offensively in terms of play calling to get Drake Maye out on the move, get him running, throwing on the run, showing off the different skill set. I feel the same way about Christian Gonzalez on the defensive side. Blitz him. You know, utilize him in different ways. Move him around. Move him back to safety sometimes. Move him up to the line of scrimmage sometimes. And I actually think that makes it more of a headache offensively for teams trying to game plan for this dude and go against him when he's all over the field defensively. Mm-hmm. So I hope that the Patriots kind of use that. That's one thing I'll give Belichick all the credit in the world for. He was masterful at moving guys around, disguising different things. You know, hopefully that part of the Belichick era stays because this is one of those kids, and it's probably why Belichick picked him, right? Hey, look, for all the stuff we can criticize Bill about, one thing you can't is handpicking corners. I mean, Bill
defensive
Belichick,
prospects in general.
He is gifted at that. So this is just another, and I guess the last in his long line of kids that he handpicked at that position.
The one name I'll tell you, I think Christian Gonzalez stays out of corner. Takeaway, especially the receivers they're matching up with in this division, and the whole, you know, schedule as a whole. I mean, he's gonna be facing the Texans. He's gonna be facing the Chargers aren't good anymore, but still, of course, the Jets and Garrett Wilson. You guys get it, right? But Marte Mapu, that's the name to watch. Another guy, let's see him make a sophomore jump. He was kind of redshirted last season. He's a versatile piece, can play safety, can play off-ball linebacker, come into the box, kind of like another Kyle Duggar. Let him be that guy that you're blitzing. To me, leave Christian Gonzalez out there and let him take away the opposite team's number one option. All right, another big news coming out of minicamp. Jalen Polk and the Patriots, they agreed to the standard 4-year deal worth up to $9.7 million. Again, this is big in roster construction and building. If Jalen Polk can grow and develop to be a wide receiver 2 or 3, and you have 3-4 years of him making up to just under $10 million, that's great to build out the rest of the roster. Now, all 8 draft picks from this draft class are under contract for the Patriots, and now everyone can move forward together to just get started moving and progressing towards the 2024 season, Trav.
Yeah, look, I already told you, I'm a Jalen Polk fan just because of Javon Baker talking all that trash that he's talking. Like,
I want the confidence for my receivers, man.
Hey, you know
Polk's
what?
a talker, too. He's loud, man.
Yeah, well, listen, I like the way he talks. Polk lets his game do the talking. I can dig that. So I'm rooting for the kid. I was just hoping that maybe he and the other receivers on this roster could be complementary pieces to a true number one. Perhaps a T. Higgins, who now we see it's not going to happen. He said, hey, I'm signing that franchise tender. I'll be there with the Bengals. So you take him off of the table. But look, Brandon Ayuk, all I'm saying, George, still available. Him and the Niners.
I know.
Not really seeing eye to eye with that contract. It's not too late, Patriots. Go make a move. Get him in here. Get Ayuk in here. and pay them. And then I'm much happier about Polk and the rest of these guys because right now at this stage of their careers, they're all complementary pieces. And it's not taking anything away from him or the others, but there is not a true number one on this roster. So for now, I'm happy that Polk's here. I'm happy that all these young guys are under contract. Somebody, please, I beg of you, go make a play on the outside, please. Whoever it is, I don't care. I'm rooting for this kid, but whoever it is, go make a play.
Well, you'll like that they ended the last day of minicamp with a fade route touchdown from Drake Maye to Jalen Polk.
I'll take it.
And Drake Maye, a guy already putting in the extra work when they get done with practice to get through the day, right, and all that.
Yep.
Polk, no words needed, without being said, without being asked. He's the one that's out there with Drake Maye, helping him get those extra reps. It's all about the maturation of Drake Maye, Jalen Polk, and Javon Baker. You have all three of those rookies signed, which shouldn't come as a shocker. That was going to be done. Now through the years, how do they progress? You have 5 years of team control for Drake Maye.
Right.
4 years of team control for Javon Baker and Jalen Polk. Let these guys grow together. I agree with you. Still need to go out and get an elite number one receiver on this roster. Whether it's through via a trade this year, you know. And T. Higgins can sign that franchise tender, but still, why not trade him? You know, why not trade for him? I won't say until the fat lady sings and he signs an actual extension with the Bengals that I'm giving up on T. Higgins.
Okay.
But you bring up the Ayuk thing too. That's a legitimate deep ball threat.
Yes.
Now, Javon Baker is out on the outside. Polk is a guy that just knows how to get open, really good over the middle where Drake Maye loves to throw the ball,
right,
but also just smart with getting open, reliable hands, great catch radius, does all this. The maturation of those three, Polk, Baker, Maye, that's what's going to be important for this offense when you take away the offensive line. But in general, you need to have a deep receiver room. You can't just have one option. You need to have multiple of them. That's what's important about getting Polk under contract, getting all the hoopla out of the way, just letting him focus on football. But again, now it's all eyes on him moving forward, Drake Maye, and just them becoming the best professional football players they possibly can be.
Yeah, that's well said. I would love for Drake Maye and these young Patriots to take a page out of the Green Bay Packers book. I mean, you and I talk about Jordan Love a lot. Young quarterback. Now, granted, he had more time to marinate on the bench than Drake Maye will.
Yeah.
We understand that. And he certainly is not watching one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it ahead of him like Jordan Love was with Aaron Rodgers. No disrespect to Jacoby Brissett, but he's just a jag. And I ain't talking about Jacksonville. I'm saying just a guy. But with that being said, it's still a similar situation. Young quarterback, young receivers, develop and grow together. And we're seeing that pay off tenfold in Green Bay. I'm hoping the same kind of things can happen in Foxboro.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers formula is impressive too. Go out, they draft Christian Watson.
Right.
Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, right? Romeo Doubs, who they got out of Nevada. Go get Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, put all these weapons around Jordan Love. What's important with Love is he was drafted in 2020, sat 3 years, didn't start till year 4, looked great the second half of the season, now entering his year 5 in the league, but also year 5 under Matt LaFleur. It's just, I have to remind everyone of this, and I think that's what's important, where you could say, what's the difference between a defensive-minded and offensive-minded head coach? To me, it's continuity in the playbook. If Alex Van Pelt works out, and he can stay with Drake Maye and these receivers for 3, 4, 5 years, fantastic. That is amazing. Or if he really works and we see Drake Maye take a huge jump and he's a great quarterback by year 2, people can go, who's calling the plays in New England? Who's the offensive coordinator? Alex Van Pelt, you're coming with us. I just want to see continuity in the system. To me, that's what makes the Jordan Love situation stand out. What makes Brock Purdy and the 49ers stand out. The Los Angeles Rams. Tua Tagovailoa. In year 2 under Mike McDaniel, the jump he made. Same thing with Tyreek Hill. Now they're entering year 3 under McDaniels down there out in Miami. Again, it's these offensive-minded head coaches that aren't going anywhere, and the system, the play calling, the verbiage, everything is staying there.
Right.
To me, that'll be vital. How long does Alex Van Pelt stay to be coaching the likes of a Jalen Polk and a Javon Baker and the rest of these guys? So one thing I'll give Jalen Polk, though, it's big too. The wide receivers coach, new wide receivers coach in New England, name is escaping me right now, but he is a former wide receivers coach in Washington. Continuity again. He knows Polk, knows his strengths. He'll help him grow as a receiver as he becomes a pro.
For sure. As I said, I don't give a damn who it is. I'm rooting for Polk, but I'm rooting for all these guys, whoever can make a play, except Juju, because I don't believe in him, and I don't believe he can make a play. But other than him, I'm rooting for all these guys, George.
I was hoping you would. Here we go. Wait.
Oh, wait for it?
No. Taylor Embry is the running backs coach. I was hoping Tyler Hughes. That's it. Needed to see the name. That's right. Tyler Hughes, new wide receivers coach. I was gonna say I was hoping you'd filibuster a little more when I was doing my Googling. But
well,
you know what?
I took a shot at Juju. What more do you want from me?
See, I missed that. Great. I love it. Yeah. Get Juju out of there. You saved $2 million on the roster. We'll see. I don't know. I don't believe in the knee. I don't believe they'll make it through. I think he's washed up. We'll see.
I do too.
Hey, check out the latest episode of Hold My Banner, hosted by my man Travis Thomas and Ante Campbell, covering everything Celtics you guys need. That is dropping today. Get it done. Hold My Banner, covering everything Celtics. And you know, Trav and Tay, they're going to go out, talk NBA, but also give their Game 5 picks and predictions.
That's right.
Trav, don't say it right now. Okay, cool. Don't say it. Don't say it. Go to Hold My Banner, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime. Listen, like, subscribe, rate, review, and you'll hear what Trav's prediction for Game 5 is there. Also, wherever you watch them, catch us on YouTube, Twitch, Nesson.com as well. Wherever you watch your podcasts, same thing. Go there, check out Hold My Banner. All right, wrapping up some news out of minicamp. This one hit me hard.
You love offensive line talk.
Mike Onwenu taking reps at right guard to wrap up the last day of minicamp.
This your wheelhouse.
This is how the offensive line looked. Chuck's Okorafor at left tackle,
okay,
who you did sign in free agency to be your left tackle. Sidney So at left guard, which I don't hate, especially with Cole Strange being banged up, could miss months.
Okay.
David Andrews, the vet, the captain at center. Mike Onwenu at right guard. Caden Wallace, who is a third-round pick. That is a high-value pick. A third-round pick.
It is.
Means a lot to a team at right tackle. Caden Wallace was drafted, and we were told on draft day that he would be your right tackle.
That's right.
So I'm just trying to think why you even want him taking reps at right tackle. He has 40 starts in his college years under his belt.
Yeah.
He was a starter there for Penn State, all Big Ten, a solid guy there at right tackle. You need to break those habits and get him into left tackle.
Okay.
So I see this and it worries me, but I'll come around a little bit. Mike Onwenu at right guard is your best right guard on the roster. And you signed him as the best offensive tackle in free agency and gave him top 12, top 10 money as an offensive tackle. In my thinking, to be a right tackle. And you'd have Chucks or Caden Wallace at left. But the offensive line isn't about who's best at each spot. It's a best group of 5 in front of you. And if Chuck's Okorafor at left tackle,
yes,
Caden Wallace at right tackle, Onwenu, So, and Andrews on the inside are your best interior offensive linemen, and it gives Jacoby Brissett and then later Drake Maye enough time to throw the football, I'm all for it. But what gets me is you drafted Caden Wallace in the 3rd round. You passed on Kieran Amagaji, who went to the Bears, who is a left tackle.
That's right.
Who's also a project. So Caden Wallace is a project. So is Kieran Amagaji, and he could be your left tackle. You should have went with left tackle there. So to me, there still is malpractice.
Yeah.
It just really irks me and rubs me the wrong way. You have Caden Wallace even taking left reps at right tackle when we've been told we have confidence in him. The only reason he was a right tackle at Penn State is because Olufashinu was at left tackle.
That's right.
It looks like he was a right tackle at Penn State for a reason. That's because he is a right tackle.
Yes. Well, listen, we'll see if he can stay healthy. But I'm thinking a lot of Ramondre Stevenson here because we know Jacoby Brissett just cannot move, okay? So if this offensive line, you've been talking about this stuff since before the NFL draft, and they did not, as you just laid out, get what they needed out of the draft as it pertains to the offensive line. So Jacoby Brissett right now is just going to be a sitting duck back there as far as I'm concerned. It sounds like you feel the same way. Now, I've told you from the beginning it's more reason to go to Drake Maye sooner rather than later because although you're saying, hey, I don't want to get the kid beat up early in his career, Drake Maye can move. So I'm looking at this as if he's ready to go, he's developed enough with the footwork, taking the ball under center, which you and I have talked about, instead of shotgun. If he's ready to go with all that stuff, knows the offense, has a good feel for everything, get him in there. Because if my offensive line isn't great, I want someone back there who can move, rookie or not. But Ramondre Stevenson, at least early in the season, George, I think you just got to ride that train as long as you can until it goes off of the tracks. Now, we have not seen him put a full season in terms of a breakout season together being healthy. So all of us, it hasn't matched up yet. It's like, all right, he's healthy for a season, but he's not giving you the kind of numbers you know he can give you. Or, oh man, he's had a great 3 or 4 game stretch, and then he gets hurt, misses a couple games. It kind of loses momentum. So now you have to put it all together. And if your offensive line is not where you want it to be, it's more reason to run the football, especially with Ramondre Stevenson's style. He's the kind of running back that gets better as the game goes on. And I think that helps the offensive line, George. It helps the cohesion. It is much easier to run block than to pass pro. So I'm looking at Ramondre Stevenson, at least early in the season, to really be the catalyst of the offense. And then as we go on, is it the mileage piles up on him, or if he starts to get banged up, bring on Drake Maye. That'll help the offensive line too, as far as I'm concerned.
What I think here too, and yes, the run game's going to be important for this offense no matter what. It's going to be a run-heavier offense than we've seen in the past, which it still was, but that was to basically handicap what they were dealing with because they had nothing they can get going through the air. If the 5 you put in front can give Jacoby Brissett 2.8 seconds, great. Yep. Get the ball out quick when you need to throw it and go that way. What I think too, though, Trav, you're going to love this. Does this bump up the start date for Drake Maye?
I think
because
so.
As an athletic quarterback, you get him out there on a bootleg, you get him moving in the pocket, he's great at throwing on the run.
Yeah.
That helps you overcome a weak offensive line, getting a quarterback that can move.
That's right.
And to me, if it's just not working because they just can't buy him time, but you have these concepts of getting the quarterback, get him moving. If they can do off-platform throws, but more importantly, just throw on the run and move the pocket to help him buy time and buy your receivers time downfield.
Yep.
That means Drake Maye, that could be a week 5, a week 6 start date.
Now you're talking.
I knew it, man. You would love this.
Right?
And I am the guy, for folks who haven't listened, but of course, go catch up on prior episodes of Foxboro Rush, wherever you get your podcast. I said you start him week 13. Right before the bye, it's at home. You go into the bye, 2 weeks to correct. You get a 5-game sample size heading into the offseason of actual game reps and game film to help out Drake Maye. But if this offense has to succeed, and Drake Maye with his athleticism, it's why you drafted him.
Yes.
Take away the arm talent, but he can do that.
Yeah.
If he's up there processing, grasping the playbook, can make multiple reads on the field, and this offensive line needs help, this means Drake Maye starts earlier.
Hallelujah.
Knew it.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. From your lips to the football god's ears. I'm so glad you finally have seen the light. You've come around on this, baby. I'm catching the football Holy Ghost because you are preaching. If your offensive line isn't some stout offensive line, get someone back there who can actually move, bruh. I'm a Jacoby Brissett fan, but it looks like my man's feet are stuck in mud or quicksand or something.
He is what he is. He is what he is.
Oh, man, he got them light feet. He got those New Balances on like you're rocking right now. He's floating, baby. Let's go, Drake Maye. I love it, George. Thank you for seeing things my way. Finally.
I think he's a Nike athlete. He's wearing those Nike cleats.
Whatever.
But no matter what, the athletic upside, that's what you want him.
Tomato.
And this comes in, and it's the same thing of, okay, look, if your 5 on the field is a core force, so Andrews, Onwenu, Wallace.
Yes.
And that is the best group of 5 that gives you because you need 5 guys that can work together. That works.
Yeah.
The same thing, you need a quarterback to help them out.
That's right.
It's a reminder football is a team game. It is 11 people on the field working together, getting their timing right. And the quarterback is so important. If Jacoby Brissett cannot provide that, but Drake Maye can, that will up his debut. And that will get him more game reps, which is what you want, live bullets. That's the only way he'll really get better. But there's the timing still has to be right. And Trav, I've said to you, man, if the offensive line looks right, then I am all for starting Drake Maye when you have confidence in him and confidence he'll be protected and healthy because I don't want him to redevelop the bad habits he'll be breaking.
Fair.
And he's unlearning. The new habits, the good habits he'll be developing and learning, right, as a rookie?
Yes.
But if the offensive line needs help and Drake Maye gives you the best chance for that, and it is winning games and being competitive, and if it's just not working at all with Jacoby Brissett because of this poor offensive line, then make it work. But there is a part that I have hope to. Remember the Cleveland Browns, what they were able to do to get into the playoffs, to win a game, to win with Joe Flacco.
That's right.
But also losing their top 3 tackles. That was Alex Van Pelt leading that offense with Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland.
Without their best running back, too, George. Remember
Nick Chubb going down.
Yep.
Dealing with Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Joe Flacco went in, looked great, and won a playoff game. Keep that in mind.
Gross.
All right, big news. Let's go across the NFL now. Trav, your favorite quarterback.
Oh, God.
Trevor Lawrence agreeing on a new deal.
I'm sick of him.
5 years worth up to $275 million, $200 million guaranteed. To me, that's the important number.
Yeah.
That's $40 million a year of guaranteed money, of real money.
Yep.
He is now extended by the Jaguars. Went 20-30 so far in his career. 20-30 record. 1-1 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
58 touchdowns, 39 interceptions, 64% completion percentage. What were you thinking when you see this news come out? Of Trevor Lawrence also now, when you put the full value of the contract, $55 million a year, that ties Joe Burrow, highest paid quarterback AAV in the NFL.
The first thing I thought was, why now? I understand the money in terms of the market bears what the market bears, right? These quarterbacks are making buku bucks. I didn't really have a problem necessarily with the numbers on the contract. Like, most of the outrage you saw in this was, he's not worth all that. He's not worth. Listen, I mean, you're going to see a ton of quarterbacks get paid more than what they're worth. Hell, Dak is up next. Dak's already making more than he's worth. He's about to get paid again. We've seen it with Kirk Cousins time and time again.
Ugh.
I don't get caught up in that because it's just the marketplace. It is what it is. There are people that could suggest you and I are overpaid, but hey, it's what the market bears.
No one would suggest that for me. I'm telling you right now.
Me either. But they could, right? So I at least understand that. I don't get caught up in the numbers per se. Where I'm at with Trevor Lawrence, and you asked my first initial reaction to this was, why now? He hasn't done enough yet to garner giving him this extension now. If I'm the Jaguars, and it could cost me, let me acknowledge that. This decision I'm about to say could cost me more in the long run. But I have not seen enough from Trevor Lawrence yet to garner this kind of contract. I would let him finish out the existing contract he was on in a prove-it year. Prove to me you can stay healthy for a whole season. I haven't seen it. Prove to me you can elevate your game. George, some of my beef with Trevor Lawrence here is I feel like he's maybe at his ceiling, and that's a scary proposition. First of all, Doug Peterson is a quarterback whisperer. We don't even need to talk around these parts about what he did with Nick Foles, okay? So let's just skip over that. But let's just say Doug Peterson has a resume of being able to get the most out of quarterbacks who are far less talented than Trevor Lawrence. From Trevor Lawrence, it almost feels like the best I saw from him was at Clemson or early in his career in the NFL. I have not seen that next gear. I have not seen that next level, the level up, the glow up from Trevor Lawrence yet. And furthermore, he continues to get nicked up. And the people that defend him say, well, you know, he's got to let him be healthy first. Yeah, that's part of this. I don't want to give him a monster bag when the guy's nicked up every 5 minutes. Every season I have to deal with Trevor Lawrence either missing time or trying to play hurt, and he's not the same guy. I think I would have him more on a prove-it type of season. I would be very honest with him. And then, oh, by the way, George, if I get more of the same, right?
Yeah.
I say, you got to prove it to us. And he goes out and he has the exact same season. It's okay. He's banged up. We get close to the playoffs, if not get in and get bounced, whatever. It's the same old song. Then guess what I'm going to do? Franchise his butt the next time around. I just don't know if Jacksonville made the right choice completely investing in this guy when they did.
Apologies about my speakers going off. Nice Google ads coming up on this.
I felt like it was fireworks because I was preaching.
What you get with Trevor Lawrence and getting this now is getting ahead of the market.
Yeah.
And I understand. But rookie season, he comes in, and he was dealing with Urban Meyer and that mess in Jacksonville. And when I was at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame introduction ceremony, right, and he spoke about how he became a great professional quarterback, and he says, when people ask me about rookies and how they're going to do, he goes, well, where are they being drafted and who's going to be there? Who's going to develop them? Where you draft and your development is big. Trevor Lawrence lost a year his rookie season, which is so important. He was thrusted into his starting position. Made a huge jump his second year in the league. 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Then year 3, the Jaguars were 8-3 to start the year, got banged up, missed a game in the final 6 weeks, and they fell flat. But think about year 2 and what you get from him. Yes, he's 1-1 in the playoffs. That one win was coming back from down 27-0 to beat the Chargers. That one loss to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Then, if you take his numbers and you look at success, and it's all about what? Building up towards a 17-game sample size is what you want to see. End of the day, it's what you get in the regular season. From Week 12 in 2022 to Week 13 in 2023, 4,100 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. 9th in QBR, 7th in completion percentage, 9th in passing yards, 12th in touchdown passes. His 13 wins ties Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff. That's one win less than Jalen Hurts over that same span of a 17-game sample size. Those are top 10 numbers. And with the $200 million guaranteed over 5 years, $40 million a year, it's worth it with Trevor Lawrence. And it also goes into you'd rather have somebody than nobody, because this is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Trevor Lawrence has won 17 games the last 2 seasons. The Jaguars won 12 games prior his previous 3 years. Blake Bortles, Mike Glennon, Nick Foles, Cody Kessler. Those are all a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
You have somebody, and a contract like this too. Trav, I understand everything you're pointing out, and I completely agree, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But I give him credit for playing through the injuries. Not a great offensive line he had, though. They go out, they drafted Brian Thomas Jr. to replace Calvin Ridley, who left in free agency. They get a Gabe Davis to Jacksonville, give him the weapons, Evan Ingram.
Yep.
The contracts like this, when you pay someone like Trevor Lawrence, who I believe can be great because he has the framework, he has the frame, he has the size, he has the athleticism. He has what you want there. You're projecting he will get better. That's what these contracts are. And if he's playing like a top 10 quarterback, then it's on the rest, it's on the front office, it's on the coaching staff to get the most out of him. Can you take him from top 10 to top 7? Can you take him from top 7 to top 5? Then that gets you in the mix of actually being a team, especially in the AFC, where it's deep with the best quarterbacks in the game.
Well, in that division even. I mean, think about the young quarterbacks in that division. You're going to really find out if the projection is right on Trevor Lawrence or not, because I mean, Anthony Richardson is raw and incredibly talented. Will Levis now has an offensive line, an offensive-minded head coach, and some
3
weapons.
good receivers.
So we'll see. C.J. Stroud, we think, may already be better. He maybe has already passed Trevor Lawrence. So it's going to be interesting to watch it play out, brother.
All right, Trev, so there's an exciting series coming out on Netflix. It's called Receiver. Netflix is coming out. Basically the same thing as Quarterback. And they're following Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle all throughout the season. I'm excited. We got a quick trailer sneak peek for you guys to look out. Check this.
I love that.
I love it because Quarterback was cool. You see Patrick Mahomes up close. Kirk Cousins, you learned a lot about him, made me a fan of him. Marcus Mariota was drying paint on the wall.
He was.
Who has bigger personalities in any sport than receivers and cornerbacks.
That's right.
And they're following Justin Jefferson. This was the 2023 season, the best in the game. Devontae Adams dealing with everything going on in Las Vegas. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a great story. A 4th-round pick, keeps the list of names everyone picked ahead of him, got paid this offseason, and is on a contender in the NFC. Then Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, again, big name, big personalities on a great team. This idea is genius.
Yes,
You're going to a position where guys want the camera. Not like a quarterback where you have to do everything right. I can't wait to watch this. I will be watching this. I think it's going to be tremendous, man.
By the way, we'll probably get a cornerback show as well because you talk about those personalities. I'm sure that's next up. I love it. I'm most excited, though, to see Justin Jefferson. He is such a big personality. And he is, quite frankly, we saw him get the bag, right? He is the face of that franchise. And none of these guys, although they have big personalities, big games, they can all ball. I'm a fan of all of them. None of them can boast that. The true face of a franchise in Minnesota is a wide receiver, and his name is Justin Jefferson. He does a gritty, and he has a mouthful of gold teeth. I mean, that is TV magic waiting to happen, and I can't wait to watch it.
I think it's a cool angle, too, because we'll see him battling through injuries. He only played 10 games, averaged over 100 yards per game, and when he was playing in the last season with Kirk Cousins there, again, it gives us another angle. Him battling through injuries, overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
He is, when he played, the best receiver in the game. Devontae Adams, from my time covering the Green Bay Packers, great soundbite, great human. Like, he's a real one. After a season-ending playoff loss, he'll talk. He'll own up to the media. He will be accountable. He'll face the questions and the bullets, right? He'll go up there. I think he's going to be fantastic. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, great story. Him and his brothers being raised by his dad, who's a Mr. Olympia. a Mr. Universe. His mom, she was a bodybuilder too, taught him to speak German. Like, everyone's going to learn more about Amon-Ra St. Brown would be great. And then Debo and Kittle, 2 personalities. All right, Trev, I want to end this Father's Day edition of Foxboro Rush with some favorite father-son duos in the NFL. What do you think across the NFL? Who's on your list of favorite father-son duos?
I mean, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of the Matthews boys, Clay Matthews and all the Matthews. Obviously, the Harbaughs, the Mannings. It's like the family. I look at the collective, right?
Yeah.
If you're a dad and you got a couple sons doing their thing,
amazing.
They're top of mind. I have one son, so to give credit there, I'm looking at Marvin Harrison Sr. and then Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
I think in that case, Marvin Harrison Jr. is not going to have Peyton Manning like his dad did, but I think he has the potential to be better than his dad. I don't know if the stats will say that because, again, dad had Peyton Manning. What the hell are you going to do? But I do think Jr., from a physical standpoint, I mean, you look at him right now, athletically, you could argue he's already better than his dad. He's an absolute freak.
Yeah.
And he kind of reminds me of Julio Jones with his build and his explosiveness. So I think that's a case where I have my eye on that because the son could be better than the dad.
Yeah, I go Howie, Chris, and Kyle Long.
Yeah, that's another family, right? Where it's a dad and then a couple boys.
I think to make it in the NFL as a single human, insane.
Yeah.
To have a kid that makes it, nuts.
Right.
2 kids, insane to me. And Howie was an icon, a household name, the face of the Raiders, one of the big faces in the NFL.
Yeah.
Was a star in movies and shows on the side when he was in the league. And then his son Chris comes up, wins 2 Super Bowls, one with the Eagles, one with the Patriots.
That's right.
His son Kyle was a guy that went JUCO to D1 college to the Chicago Bears, was a great offensive lineman for them. It's a lot of success. And also I just think of like 3 great, and also Chris got his name known when he was with the Rams.
That's right.
Just I'm thinking jersey combo wise, you have out of a Raiders jersey, you could go Rams or Patriots or Eagles, and you go Bears jersey, just like a great collection if you want the whole long family in your house.
Yeah.
Then also, you know what? I'll go Sean and Ed Honkley. The refs? Yeah.
Oh, please.
Ed Honkley, he's jacked, jacked, still is. His son Sean doesn't have the guns like him, but there's a legacy there. And I don't think Ed Honkley's that egregious of a ref. I got to say, as much as I hate officials, I kind of liked him. Like Gene Steratore, get out of my face.
Right now with that shirt you got on. You got to throw a flag, a 15-yard penalty. By the way, what's the Watt dad do? The TJ and the JJ?
Oh, he's just a big hoss from Wisconsin,
like a
bro.
Like, what's up with him?
He just looks like he's from Wisconsin, trust me. You'll see a photo of me like that guy's from Wisconsin. Cheese curds and milk. Kyle Shanahan, 2 very successful coaches.
Yeah.
Kyle needs to go out and get that ring, of course, but 2 very successful head coaches.
Yeah.
You have the Ryans, Bo, Rex Ryan,
That's right. All in the family.
And then right here in New England, you got to go Jackie and Matt Slater. Jackie's an all-time great pro. Matt Slater will be a Patriots Hall of Famer one day. One of the best special teamers to ever play the game. Some people say he's a Hall of Famer himself. Then go there. And also I was thinking Orlando Brown Sr., Orlando Brown Jr.
Yeah, that's a good one. I covered his dad. Look, I still think, though, ultimately, if we're naming a GOAT dad, it's got to be Archie, right? Archie Manning. I mean, I have Peyton and Eli, all those Super Bowls. And then they said what's the other brother? Cooper. They said he was very special, too.
Yeah, he was a special athlete. He just got injured.
He got injured. So I think if you're going GOAT dad here, though, I think you got to go Archie. And Archie, by the way, he was on bad teams, but Archie could ball.
Good. He could play.
He could play.
I'll put up there the Longs and the Matthews brothers, too.
Okay.
Matthews' sons, a family.
All right.
And then, of course, Arch Jr., Arch Manning out of Texas is going to come into the league. And then all of a sudden we're going to go, what's the best uncle-nephew combo in the NFL one day if he pans out to be what he can be. Hey, Trav, always great spending with you, man. I'm happy you had a great Father's Day. Again, give a shout-out for you.
Thank you.
You know what? You're like a dad on this program to me.
Hey.
We're boys. You're boys, but you're the old head. You always lead me on the right path. You always give me advice when I need it.
Yeah.
And that I say happy Father's Day to you, too. You got 2 great kids. Is your son receiver, quarterback? What do you think he's going to be?
George, you know this about me. I prayed my whole life to have a quarterback of a son. and I did not get that. He is the best 6-year-old goalie in soccer you'll ever see, though.
Hey, you got to be a dog to be a goalie. You have to have that dog mentality, and I know you want your kids to have that, so that's important. That's it for this episode of Foxboro Rush. Make sure to catch us wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Like, subscribe, follow, rate, review as well. Catch us on YouTube, Nesson.com, and Twitch. For Travis Thomas and for George Balekji and Travis Thomas, that's it here on Foxboro Rush. We'll see you guys next time.